But I can. I think that's gonna be fine.
Dude, I just got my appointment from scheduling 4.5 years ago for hearing loss. This tinnitus comes with hearing loss.
Yeah.
Now I got to go take the beep test again. I'll fucking not hear anything. I'm just gonna click the bunch.
But this will be the test right here. This car.
Yep. Let's see.
I'm sure it's fine. But your point is right. If they hit that, they're hitting your car.
Yeah.
All right, we're just calling this sitting on the porch.
So we're live right now?
Not live.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I'm just recording it. And then I'll just upload it. It takes fucking forever is the only problem. I mean, that's the nice thing with live.
Right.
I mean, I won't edit this, but I don't think. Anyway. But back to that FBI thing. They think that, like, it's so funny to me that what these dudes are saying is just so beyond. Well, yeah, it's my son's knowledge level of how this works.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, I went to the FBI. They immediately say federal. They say federal and state as if there's a certain hierarchy. They don't understand it's just jurisdictional shit. And I mean, obviously, there's certain resources that come with different programs, different levels of shit. But like, I don't even know. Did they talk about? We didn't fucking watch it. Right. Did they bring those things up again? Did they bring up the fucking?
When I parked, they were busy talking about like Tiffy going to court. Kaiser was on his like little, what do you call him? His little quotes that he fucks up all the time. So he's talking about the stripper name is Karma, like all that bullshit, and it's like, oh my god, dude.
So karma. This is what bugs me. I mean, first of all, it used to bug me. Now it's kind of turned back into. It makes me fucking laugh.
Right.
Like these are clown shoe motherfuckers.
It's stupid.
Karma is an accumulation. Is a result of an accumulation of actions or one action. Depends on what you're sort of thinking about. But in Buddha and Eastern philosophy and all of that, where karma is a thing, and even in U.S. sort of folkisms, you reap what you sow.
Right.
Or you sow what you reap, or whatever.
Reap what you sow.
You reap what you sow. And it's the idea. It's not that karma is not a thing with age. It's not an element or some spiritual thing with agency that is waiting to get you back.
It's not how it works.
It's not at all. It's saying when you've murdered a dude, when you've gone in and out of prison, when you live a life of fraud and lies, the accumulated effect of that is your karma.
Yeah.
And there's a sense of what do they fucking call it when they
if you believe in karma, actions today won't get you today. You're gonna meet your maker at some point.
But at some point, you're going to have to, and it's reincarnation in Hindu and all this shit. It's the idea, which I kind of, in a way, like. I don't know that, I'm not like all in on all, but like, I do like the spiritual, universal sort of energy aspect of shit. I mean, that's where like weed and fucking retirement have come in.
Sure.
Well, because now.
The crazy thing about that, like guys who I thought were like, atheists, let's say, right? And I was raised Catholic like you, right?
Yeah.
Like, the thought with heaven that I get to go like hang out and play cards with my grandpa again at some point. That's cool. Okay, I dig that, right? But the guys I know who are like got degrees in physics and stuff like that, they're like, oh no, there's something. Like they're convinced, all of them, like 99%, they're convinced that there's something. They don't know what. But they're like, first off, everything in your body is parts of stars, right? Like you're literally bits of compressed stars that have collapsed and then spread across the galaxy. Like that's what you're made of.
It's so cool to think about.
Okay, yeah. And so when you die, you're going to go back to that, and then who knows? Maybe somebody down the road is going to be part of your cells are going to be in their body somehow.
Well, think about it. I mean, one of the universal science equations is 1 equals 1. Zero never equals 1. You can't. energy, your body decompose. It goes into something.
It goes, yeah.
It just doesn't stop being. It goes into other energy.
The only potential for something going actually away is a black hole, right now.
And and what's cool is they're still figuring out new shit about.
But now they're like, okay, well, maybe it's a parallel. Maybe it's going into the black hole and then going out somewhere.
And then
that's even crazier to think. I'm not that in tune with physics, but
I'm not either. I'm a stoned YouTube watcher,
right?
Dude, I go down these fucking rabbit holes of these fucking the universe shit has got me, and then the new
Brett Weinstein. He's been on Joe Rogan.
Yeah. He's kind of a funny, whiny dude.
He's kind of whiny, and then he's like,
he's really sensitive.
Well, but he's like, somebody will say something, and he's like, well, I don't know what that means, and I'm like, come on, dude, you know what that means.
Yeah.
But you're trying to be, what do you call it? Like an academic figure.
Yeah.
Like, what does that actually mean? It's like, come on, dude, you knew what he meant, right? I get it. You know, you're a physicist and a philosopher all in one. So, I mean, I get it, but you're not Freud, and you're not,
Yeah, I don't like when people like that act that. I think it's good. I get it. Sometimes you have like a rigorous. Okay, if we're having a discussion, there does need to be some sort of rigor to it. I mean, not a conversation.
If you're in a room
like
full of physicists,
right?
But if you're on the Joe Rogan podcast,
exactly.
Joe Rogan's just a comedian. Right.
Or just on the porch having a beer.
Or just on the porch having a beer. Yeah.
Thinking about it. No, I get it. Exactly.
It doesn't have to be that deep, like, to get the point, I guess.
Well, because you get the understanding. And that's one thing that's interesting with Rogan is he gets the gist. Even if he may not be able to spit back these things, he understands the concepts.
But he's also a pothead, and he's done, like, DMT, and he's got a central deprivation chamber, so he's, like, open to new ideas, and if somebody gives him like a detailed and like Cliff Notes version of whatever, like he's like, okay,
yeah,
I don't know, but that seems to. He's just like, okay, well that kind of makes sense, right? And now he's getting some stuff's weird, like some stuff's great and weird, like Lieutenant Commander Fravor, and then he had those two other. He was the first
UFO.
Pilot. Yeah, so he was
I didn't see that.
F-18. He was the skipper for that F-18 wing, and Iraq, and him and his Wizzo, they were the first ones to see the UFO, the Tic Tac.
Yeah.
And then they watched it visually for like 5 minutes. The actual video is from a Marine pilot.
Huh.
Because they were doing intercepts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the Marine pilot actually got the video. And then apparently the same type of whatever they saw. Since then, the Pentagon. And so that's the Pentagon releasing that stuff. That's from the former SecDef. He was also on Joe Rogan, whatever his name is. I can't remember.
Miley?
No.
Miley? No. Oh, SecDef, not JCS. Espen?
No. I'll find it real quick. You'll know maybe he wasn't the SecDef. Maybe it was something.
But how crazy is it that they were like, "Hey, America."
Oh, Christopher Mellon.
Christopher what?
Mellon.
Oh, okay.
Was he the SecDef?
No.
Yeah, Secretary of Defense.
Was he?
Yeah, he was SecDef for intelligence.
Oh, so he was Undersecretary for Intelligence and Security.
I thought he was also ATL for a while. Something technology and logistics. Advanced, I know. I met the previous one with him when I was when we were doing work together on that one thing. We were doing some work for random people because we were a fusion cell. Because we were way more successful than all that. The cool names, the cool acronyms.
Funny.
And so we ended up doing a thing like he was going to meet with somebody in China, and like he was going to Beijing, and then he was going somewhere else, and like we got the list of who he was meeting with, and we did like the whole shebang on all of them. Like, here's what you need to know. And then we like our boss, I don't even know his real name. I never knew his real name. Right. He was like, hey guys, I don't know if you guys got something going on, but we really need to do this. Your boss comes to you like that, and he already has your respect. You're like, yeah, cool. make the calls you need to, take a couple minute break, get some coffee or whatever. And so we like, crank this thing out in like 4.5 hours, like 25 of us, you know.
Wow.
And it, like they gave it to him digitally, and then they had him an envelope because he was getting on the plane from Anacostia Station and all that. You know,
Okay,
so.
yeah. What do you think of the... Oh, but what I was going to say is, how crazy is it that they came out and they're like, oh, we got proof of aliens and shit. And nobody gave a fuck.
And they're like, it's like a soft opening for something, you know?
It's so nuts. It was like, holy shit, this is a real motherfucking thing. Like, Congress is like...
And you got congressmen like, have you recovered craft that are not American and not any of our allies or current enemies? They're like, yes.
Yes.
And everybody's like, oh, how about that?
Fucking Democrats, Trump, like what the fuck?
And even like, but that was like the only congressional hearing where like you have Ocasio-Cortez and fuck, what's his name?
Gates.
Yeah, well, they got all these guys who hate each other, right? And they're all like intrigued, and they're not arguing with each other. They're like,
yeah.
And like one of the Democrats said something like, "We need some like oversight," and then the Republicans are like, "Yeah," they're all like, "Yes, oversight, good thing." Now it's a good thing.
It's just so funny how it didn't make a motherfucking ripple.
Here's what makes total sense though. The government, I mean, sure, we have counter intel and we have processes and we have NDAs and we have background checks. So the people working on programs, 99.9% of the time are actually good people. They're not going to go sell secrets. They're not going to commit espionage. Literally almost most of the time. Right? That being said, major stuff gets out, right? We have other countries to compete with, right? Who are proactively trying to collect that information, right?
Yeah.
If there was crashed UFOs, it would make total sense that they're in the hands of the private sector. That's one thing that came out. Like, this is not maybe government funded, government whatever, but like the actual physical whatever of these things. Is it mine?
Oh, no.
Yours is right there.
Mine's right there.
Oh my God.
Hey. I mean, I'm a pothead.
Right. It's like, where's my phone while you're holding it?
That is interesting. But that's why they've been really targeting... Country X has really been targeting those...
they target everything.
They do.
Yeah.
I get it, but... Because I sat next to those CI dudes who were looking
Why would they not have the same... Why would they not have the same incidents, though?
Yeah.
Why would it only be America?
Well, because it's probably not.
It's not. You would assume it's not, right?
It's that they're hiding it. Other people are hiding
Sure,
it.
because I think maybe the realistic consequences of something as so advanced that none of it, like, if we go to war with a thing like that, we're dead.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the consequences and the unrealistic expectation that you can reverse engineer something that advanced. So everybody's just like, oh, fuck. Just put it in a warehouse.
What do you think? What do you think of the pyramid stuff? Are you into like...
So I don't think it's a tomb.
How do you think they got the fucking... the logistics and the engineering of it?
But
how would they have...
Well, here's the evidence I like, right?
Yeah.
The Sphinx, right? They had that Dr. Robert Schoch. He's also been a Rogan multiple times.
Yeah.
Geologist. He's out of Boston University. So one of his big theses is like water erosion. How does water erosion work? And like, he's like, that's water erosion. And then the last time water flowed in that amount for that amount of time to create those crevices was like 12,000 years ago. Okay, what happened 12,000 years ago?
Well, and so I think that I like that theory of an advanced civilization that got wiped out.
Yeah. Göbekli Tepe.
Yeah. Totally. Oh my God.
Because it was intentionally buried.
Yeah.
Why would you intentionally bury this stuff? Like,
I think it was shit that got fucking... and what's really fascinating to me, and just the idea of questioning it, is...
We probably should question it, but you should probably have rigor in science and...
Well, it's really crazy how we've just sort of allowed science to be like, nothing to see here. You know?
Yeah, and that's probably my biggest reason I think that some of this could be true, because like how much the academic community goes after some of these guys for things that are like
Holy shit!
or well
Yeah,
respected dudes. Like he's a geologist. He's not an Egyptologist.
ghost hunter or
Yeah,
anything great. I don't know. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And he's basically saying, okay, in my professional opinion, right?
Yeah.
This is from long exposure to flowing water, right? And flowing water in every other instance creates this effect. The last time there was flowing water in Egypt was between these dates. And it's like a long time ago, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
12, 13, whatever,
1,000 years ago. It's a long fucking time ago.
I don't think there's a problem with that, like, scientific assessment, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense, to me, why that would be so contentious, right? Because now that they're finding other stuff that's way older, like Gobekli Tepe,
Yeah.
and then Tawan Tepe, which is like 20 miles away, way older. They only see like the tops of the stones. They haven't even gone down yet. Right?
It's yeah.
But that place, they did a core sample.
Yeah.
Also intentionally buried, right? So that's like, whoa. So why would they bury it intentionally? Because it's all the same strata. Like that's how they know that, because it's not layered. It's all
it's all the same. Yeah. Yeah.
And
good to point that out. I forgot. Yeah, I do remember them making that point.
Of carving, like the American Indians, right? Like in southern Illinois, like there's cliffs, right? They carved into the rock. In Turkey, they carved like a panther out of the rock, which is wild, right? Like that's hard to do now.
Yeah.
Or the other thing that really gets me, from the same, let's say, era of humanity, like the stuff in Peru, the stuff in the Middle East, the stuff in Asia, all the same.
Yeah.
Some of the wall stuff's the same, and some of the glyphs or painting or whatever you want to call them.
I just watched this thing on that, and it's fucking incredible. Or and then how about in Quito, Ecuador? How they get these things up 14,000 fucking feet,
right. Yeah.
And shit, and it's like it, and then it's
what's the other one in Brazil, or is it Brazil?
Yes.
Daniel's best friend went there.
It has a Jesus. It has a big Jesus thing.
Well, now that's Sao Paulo. That's Brazil.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about the
no, but it's
Machu Picchu.
Oh,
where's Machu Picchu?
Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu.
Is that
Machu Picchu?
Is that Ecuador?
Peru.
Oh,
Peru. Yeah. That one.
Machu Picchu. Yeah.
It's way up there in the Andes. The Andes, right? That's
yeah.
Peru. Andes. Yeah. But they had the quarry. They found the quarry, I think, within the past few years, and it's like not close.
So here's the okay. So and then so then with the pyramids, not only were they able to somehow move these incredible
heavy
stones, and then get them millimeter perfect for the pyramid. It's
some of them are to the thousandths of an inch. And that other guy, I think he's out of MIT, and I think he was also he did tool markings, I think, for the government. He's like, you wouldn't expect. Okay, so with the what do you call it? The common, if an ancient Egyptian had to drill a hole, they would take this copper tube because they could work with copper, and then they'd wet sand and they'd tie ropes around it, just like we would start a fire in SEER school
to
right?
turn it. Yep,
to turn it right. And when you do that, you don't see, because the sand, takes away all the tool markings, right? But this guy goes there to Egypt all the time now, and he sees tool markings everywhere. And then like this one big stone, it's like there's an obvious blade mark in it, and I'm like, I don't have to be. I mean, I did construction in the '90s, right? Like if you fuck up with the circular saw, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Except for wood versus granite or whatever it is.
It's really not. That one is fun to watch. I can go down a rabbit hole with that dude.
Well, then he found these pits, but then he took it further. Like there's these things, and they're like, well, that's.
Well, how about they had the beer can size
hole.
like holes that like super smooth, and it's like this is
Or
a
the holes
perfect circle.
right, or the holes that move.
Yeah.
Like they go like at an angle. I'm like, oh, that's weird. But they still have tool markings in the
Yeah.
middle of a rock, like 8 feet into the rock. It's like, okay, well, that's odd.
Oh, it's fucking.
It's something.
And what's so crazy to me is why isn't science? I mean, we've said it before, but
It's generational, right?
why are they? Well, it just goes to show you how dogmatic academia and kind of what we've let science become. We let it become. Now, look, math and science are the best descriptors we have. That they to explain what the world kind of is.
Yeah, sure.
They can't explain why the world.
Right.
They can't explain why this thing is. They can't explain why. It just says what. So it's like it's a tool to describe things. But it shows we kind of made it into its own religion. Not kind of, we did, and then we forced it, and then it became no. This is the hard thing. I don't know why curiosity wouldn't just have you. If I was a scientist in that field, I would be like, I want to go after this question.
Yeah.
Like, I want to go after this.
Funding, right? Politics.
Bureaucracy. Yeah, well,
right?
exactly.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big known part of it, you know.
Well, it goes to, and then it goes to show and explain a bit how money and government and outside funding can
Influence.
Really shape and form what knowledge is sought out. And I really like the idea of, I think it's just a cool concept. I don't know that I believe it necessarily, but I like that. I think it's cool to think of, not only was this whatever it was, civilization wiped out, but they got good at other things than us. And it's like, you know, your first thought is, well, how would that be? Because it would feel like naturally we go after this. But then you think about how money, how resources, and how all of that influences the larger push forward culturally, not just for, you know, Western, but, well, you know, whatever region, but for humanity. And then for these other cultures, different resources, place at different things, and they figured out telepathy. They figured out the brain, maybe. Like, you know, they figured out some kind of, I mean, dude, just the brain. What we're learning about the fucking brain now is
it's less explored than nobody knows the brain, right? Like, you can fix it. Surgeons can fix the brain a little bit, right? They don't know how it works.
When they don't know why we have it. They don't know why it's all asymmetrical. Why this side does this side does these things, and what they do, how these things, like, how is it that it gets things to us? And then why is it that we dream? Why do we do all these?
And
it's
dogs dream.
So fucking cool.
Why do dogs goddamn dream?
What? Yeah.
One
but
thing
that's what's so interesting with the brain. But a dog's brain is asymmetric too.
One thing I heard as a counter argument, it's like let's say the similar things between, like, let's say Peru, Japan, the Middle East, and Eurasia, right? Like, if you all had the same problem, like when there's an earthquake, my wall falls down. You're somebody's going to work on that problem.
I get
right?
you. I see where it's going.
So it's not like they had modern white people problems, right? You know, they had, like, if there's an earthquake, we're going to die. You know. So they had people working towards the same issue because their issues were way less than ours, but way more serious. Because, like, you know, if you can't hunt, you fucking die because you can't eat and you starve to death. Right? If you can't get clean water, you die. Right? You know. And I think there's some validity to that. Like, yeah, okay, well, obviously they're all cultures at that period of history were trying to solve the same.
I get it, but why would they have the same imagery?
Exactly. Why that's where it gets.
Why would they have the same? And then
you could say the engineering you can understand because they were working towards the same shit.
You get
the pictures,
dude. And then how the fuck are all of these things? Whether it's in Peru, whether it's those big squares in the middle of fucking the Amazon, or it's the Great Pyramids of fucking
Giza.
Yeah. Or whatever. Everything is oriented to true north. True fucking whatever they call it, cosmic north. I mean, the way they use it. but we would say true north.
Yeah.
Everything's fucking pointed true north.
Right.
How in the fuck? You know,
And,
like,
I saw
what?
something the other day. The math behind the pyramids, right? Something with the Pythagoras and then like pi,
Yeah.
and then it's like it creates the perfect something with pi, and I'm like,
And how would they know that?
how would you do that by accident? The pyramids are actually 8 sides. Did you ever see that picture? No. They didn't know it until we had airplanes, because Giza pyramid 8-side photo. It's crazy, right? The precision, even though it's here we go.
Oh wow!
So they're actually 8 sides.
Get the fuck out!
Yeah, I'm serious. Like ever so slightly.
I will not get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's it used to be covered in marble, right? Like white marble.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so then when these people say like, well, then maybe they had these rollers. Okay, that seems to be impossible, but whatever.
But could we?
But then how did you get them up?
Well, then the question is like, can we move that today? How would we do that today? Right? You'd have 4 cranes for some things, just single blocks.
It's a cool little. It's weird to be this close to the road.
It is weird,
But
it's slow. But it's slow. Like nobody's going crazy fast, so it's like we're in down.
So they got this. Okay, so they got this little, like right down where that light is.
Yeah.
It's a little pub.
Yeah,
And
I saw it on the map.
yeah, it's a cool little. So it's nice. So I'll smoke and I'll fucking walk down there and get so that nice little place to get a beer. But the walk from here to down to almost that light, there's no sidewalk or anything.
Right.
And I get it.
You get a
like
little
they're not.
pucker.
They're going 30. 35, and you're like,
hit at
fucking
30.
wow.
You're gonna go flying. If
Yeah.
you hit at 30.
I mean,
I'd be more worried about the side mirrors at here walking, than I would be getting hit by the car. I'd be worried about getting hit by the side mirror. Just,
yeah.
God,
Dude, I don't fuck around. If a car's like even remotely coming, I'm getting the fuck off.
It's
until
like fuck.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, first of all, my ass ain't running anywhere.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if you looked at me lately. Got a
Oh,
few
I was
extra
thinking-
pounds on me.
Train for the marathon.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could walk for a long distance.
Oh fuck. So yeah, isn't it crazy?
In the pyramids, like it's obvious that they're not in a row, right? It's
Yeah.
Orion's belt, or what we know as Orion's
Yeah.
belt, right?
God, that's the other cool
So then,
part
what
of it,
significance did that have to them back then, right? Because you see it, the hieroglyphs.
Yeah.
They have that star system.
Yeah, that's and they have it in other places. That specific star system
But then, like, I don't know, like our with Hubble and the new telescope and all that, they've looked at that. I mean, you can see it from here.
Yeah.
Right? Even though that's like what hundreds of millions of light years in the past, or whatever. But,
yeah.
Why is that so significant to all these cultures? Because it's not the brightest stars in the sky. Like,
I like the idea of a navigation tool.
I mean, sure, you got the North Star, and you got some of those.
It's some sort of
Star.
celestial. There's some kind of hit because what's cool is like if you hit the pyramids and if you went straight through the other side of the to the other side of the Earth, I don't remember what it is, but like you can connect these
It's
lines.
pretty specific, yeah.
And so,
Well, same with what they call it the American. Tell me what's the rings in Scotland? Stonehenge. So the American Stonehenge, if you put a line through the front the two pillars, it goes through the Stonehenge pillars. Exactly. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he was like 14. It's on their family property. And
so
it's all
nuts.
like, it's obviously man-made. That's the one thing about it. It's man-made.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, but it's just on it's like in the woods on their property. They let people come in and check it out. It's like super weird. I don't think it's ever had a professional archaeological.
That's so fucking.
Dude, when you're at the house, so I got to show you the stuff that we found in
Let me check this just real quick.
Yeah, you got it.
I realized I'm like, I just.
Why are you gay?
Why the fuck are you gay? Because I don't want to get hit by a car.
I'm gonna grab a beer while you're doing that.
Do it.
You want another one?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. This is cool. This slate slab.
Dude, it's really cool. It's a historic house.
It's really cool. Oh, I didn't even see it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, right?
I didn't even realize that.